We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for Jacks, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting Jacks.
Hello and welcome into the Sporting Jacks Report. I'm Cole Pemper. Coming up, the men's team gets some work in the preseason and the Youth Academy teams raise some trophies. Plus, we get to know Brem Suo-Maioro. But let's start with the women's team restarting the Gainbridge Super League season in unusual conditions. It turned out that not only was it the coldest professional soccer match in Jacksonville history, but one of the coldest professional games of any sport ever in the city. When Sporting Jacks hosted Carolina Ascent last Saturday, there were snowflakes blowing around the pitch. And it was a cold grind of a game that ended in celebration for the home team. To Hodges Stadium we go. The first match since the start of the second half. In the first half, these two sides scored 11 goals in two matches against one another, but early on, nothing doing here. Bailey DeSmit shot covered by Meg McClellan. 34th minute, DeSmit trying to serve one up. Sophia Bowman gets there, but can't quite get it around the post. It remains a 0-0 game. Just a minute later, Carolina on the attack. Since Riley Parker gets on the end of this one with a diving header. And look at the save by Caitlin Parks, kicking it away. What a save here for the goalkeeper the first half of the season in the Gainbridge Super League. Take another look. Served in well, but Parks there with the save, keeping the clean sheet. Second half, 79th minute. Nice bit of grit shown here by Bailey DeSmit. Watch her battle through defenders. Found a lane, but the shot sent wide. It remained 0-0. 85th minute now, after Jesse Hunt and Jade Pennick had subbed on, those two involved. Hunt with a cross, Paige Kenton with a header right there, and Pennick there to put it away, her third goal of the season, and that was the dagger. 1-0 Sporting Jacks wins to remain atop the table and unbeaten in the last six.
I think it's just about staying alive in the box. When the ball bounced, I just sort of pounced on it first, and yeah, I'm happy it went in the back of the net. Obviously, we wanted to continue what we did before the break. Difficult conditions today, so we battled through, and yeah, lucky to get the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, Jessie's ball was outstanding. I don't think I tell her enough, but she's just a player who makes everyone around her look better. She's so easy to play with, so when that came in, I kind of just knew I had to get a piece of it. I lost track of it for a second there behind someone's head, but just got a piece of it, and then Jade's a class finisher. She's always going to put that away and try to poach that, so it was just outstanding for both of them.
The wind was really difficult for us to get out. Carolina Ascent did a really good job of applying a lot of pressure on us, and we needed to make some changes. We felt like we needed a spark, and recently our bench has come up big for us, which it did tonight.
We love playing at home. We love playing in front of our fans. We can hear them the whole way through. So yeah, just happy we've got 2 more home games before we're on the road again.
Let's take a look at the stats from the match. Plenty of shots for both sides in the cold and the wind. Sporting Jacks had a little better of possession overall. Neither team got much going from any of the corners, and it was a pretty chippy game overall. 16 fouls by Carolina Ascent, but Sporting Jacks came away with the goal and the victory, nabbing 3 points. So here is a look at the Gainbridge Super League table. Sporting Jacks remains atop the table after the win, just a 1-point gap to second place Lexington. Lexington still has not lost a match so far this season. Dallas Trinity, Carolina Ascent in the top 4. Remember, the top 4 teams will advance to the postseason. That won't come up till later this spring. We now welcome in Becky Burley. Becky, that was quite a game. Not the most artistic thing we've seen, but one of the grittier victories by Sporting Jacks.
You know, the grittier, the better in terms of this team's emphasis on defense coming out of the break. So to me, like, this was like a perfect game if you're a coach, because a lot that you could look at to work on. but you get the result, and you get the result in a way that relied a lot on your defensive presence and your ability to capitalize when it mattered most.
Now, once again, we see the substitutions making an impact. Jesse Hunt crossing the ball in that led to the goal by Jade Pennick. Pennick had only been on for 5 minutes. What does that tell you about the way Stacey Balaam is managing the roster?
You know, this is a repeated theme. I'm so glad you brought this up, because it feels like Stacey and Alan and the whole staff has just had like a really great touch in knowing when to make changes. But more importantly, I would say it's the players coming on that know that they can be game changers, and they have that mentality and they take that to heart. And, you know, if you're a goal scorer, like Pennick is, like, that's what you want to do. You don't always get the opportunities, but when you get one, you bury it. And that's exactly what she did.
All right, now let's look ahead to this evening's match. DC Power comes to town. Sporting Jack split a pair of matches with DC in the first half. Pennick scored in both matches, by the way. What do you expect from this one?
You know, this is an interesting one for me, because I think when you're first coming back, you're sort of hungry to get back at a game again, because you've just practiced, and not enough real competition. So they took care of that with that first one. Now you start to get into a team that's, you know, not at the top of the table. You've had split results with them. How does that play into your preparation? And hopefully it doesn't change anything. Hopefully this is a team that is learning to be truly professional with their preparation, and they don't look at the table as a distraction. They look at that as like, hey, we prepare the same for everybody we play. But certainly, you know, human nature comes into this, and I'm very curious to see how that plays out.
All right, Becky, thank you. A little more now here on DC. Despite the season opening win over Sporting Jacks, DC has only 2 other victories. They have played close competition, though. A lot of competitive matches. They've scored as many goals as they've conceded. They did not play last week and haven't won since November 12th. Still, they're an organized side that has had success away, winning twice and earning a pair of draws in away matches.
I think it's important just to stay with that day-by-day mentality, showing up to training tomorrow with the right mindset, and then doing that every single day. And then when we get to game day, we'll be ready and prepared.
DC is really tough competition. They do a really good job like playing balls through, so I think just being aware of that and making sure to kind of stick to our style, work on what we can take away from the last game and bring that to the next.
When we went to them, we knew we had to be a little bit more defensively organised because they play with high transitional moments. They're very vertical in the way that they play, so we had to kind of, you know, sit a little deeper. And again, Jade got a late goal for us that game. You know, they're going to be a tough team, and I don't think their position in the league reflects on how good they are.
While the women were preparing for DC in Jacksonville, the men took to the road and headed south to train with some other pro teams at the campus of IMG Academy in the Bradenton area. With some other USL Championship teams and MLS clubs there, it gave the team a chance to measure itself against some other pros. While there are still some missing pieces, this inaugural squad is starting to round into form.
We see each other every day, obviously, at training ground, but you know, opportunities like this where you're just around the boys 24/7 is it's important. The level's good. I mean, obviously it's pre-season, so it's too early to tell right now. But yeah, I think we're at the level. I don't think we're too far off right now. I think for a new team, we've made a good start, and yeah, I think 2 decent performances.
I mean, so we had a couple, maybe a week in Jacksonville, and then here is more, you know, you're seeing the guys almost 24/7. The only time you're not is when you're closing your eyes to sleep. But yeah, it just like creates team bonding. We have multiple sessions a day, so we're working on the tactics, getting know each other. A lot of us are playing different positions. We're just trying to figure everything out. We're still a young team and everything.
Also this week, Sporting Jacks introduced the rest of head coach Liam Fox's staff. Fox's top assistant brings USL Championship coaching and MLS playing experience. Mike McGinty joins the Sporting Jacks staff from North Carolina FC, where he served as an assistant. He was previously the head coach at St. Louis University. The goalkeepers coach for Sporting Jacks is 43-year-old Gary Maley. He coached several clubs in Scotland and has the distinction of being the oldest player to make a debut in the Scottish Premier League. He did so just 4 years ago at the age of 39. That's the coaching staff for the inaugural season for Sporting Jacks in the USL Championship. All right, here are some key dates for the men to understand and remember. February 21st, the first preseason game that fans can attend. That's against Charleston Battery at Hodges Stadium. That'll be a great chance to take a look at this USL Championship team for the first time. Then the season opener against Hartford Athletic on March the 7th. March the 14th, the following week, they'll be on the road for the first time at Rhode Island FC. That'll be a great test for the club. And then March 25th, back home against Miami FC. So the month of March is going to be very busy for Sporting Jacks on both the men's and the women's sides. Sporting Jacks has introduced the Family Pack. It's a great way for families to enjoy pro soccer. You get tickets to the match, a meal voucher, chips and soda for each member of the family, up to 8. Get your Family Pack today. Go to sportingjacks.com. Still ahead, the men's team keeps building its inaugural roster, and one player's global journey now leads to Jacksonville. Emerson Burris has his story next as the Sporting Jacks report rolls on. Every game in the Gainbridge Super League can be seen streaming on Peacock. Sporting Jacks home games can be seen on Channel 4, CW17, or right here on the stations of First Coast News. And we now welcome in Emerson Burris with our Ascension Player feature. This week you sat down with one of the players expected to be a leader of the Sporting Jacks men's team, midfielder Brem Suo-Mayoro.
Well, the men's side has built its roster with players from all over the world, but one of the players' faces brings more than just international experience. From growing up in Africa, developing in the Netherlands, and playing professionally across Europe and North America, Brem Suo-Mayoro has seen the game at just about every level, and now he's bringing that global journey and a very steady leadership presence to Jacksonville. His soccer journey started with a fun twist and nearly a very different position.
I almost became a goalkeeper. But then my dad was like, nah, you should be playing, it's fun, and I'm a goalkeeper and this and that. And then obviously I went to play on a field. But I almost was a goalkeeper. That's my first memory, playing really soccer on a normal way.
That journey has taken him through multiple leagues and countries, from Europe and Canada to the United States, including last season in the USL Championship with Indy 11.
I spoke with the coach Liam for the first time. We had a Zoom meeting, and it wasn't that long conversation, and basically I was sold. It was a match, actually. It was a match from the very first conversation. For me, it was clear that I wanted to be here.
Now in Jacksonville, he's quickly found his fit with Sporting Jacks.
I would say the group is such a nice group. For the few weeks that I've been here, Jacksonville, the Sporting Jacks, everything literally, to me, it feels like it's a match.
Off the field, his personality helps set the tone.
Fun fact about me, I'm easygoing. It doesn't matter where I come, even it's around new people, I make them really comfortable around me, that they also feel comfortable just to have a chat with me. And I'm open to have chat, whoever it is the fans, is the neighbors, I love that. Really easygoing.
And for him, fans are part of that same connection.
The fans are also part of the team, so I call them the 12 men. So it's 11 men who's on the pitch. So together with the subs and the fans, they become the 12 men. So I hope that we can create something nice that you can call as family, because if you see, many guys are from all over the places, so we only got each other. So having the teammates and included fans, you still feel okay, this is home for the season that you have. And hopefully with that support that we can make them happy, that we share the good moments together, the bad moments together, just like a family.
A global path now leads to the First Coast. The men continue preseason play as they build toward their March 7th league opener.
It's so interesting talking with Brem. You mentioned his international experience and playing all over the world. You can just sense this is something that really matters to him. It means something to be here on the first USL Championship team for Sporting Jacks.
Yeah, he mentioned that a few times, and he's excited to kind of take on that leadership role as one of the vets and kind of take the younger guys under his wing.
Can't wait to see him out there in a USL Championship game. Emerson, Thanks so much. Flex packs are on sale now for the second half of the women's season. You can customize your season to fit your schedule. You'll still save over individual match tickets, and it's a great way for busy families to come out to Sporting Jacks. Just choose any 4 matches, and you'll be all set. The Flex pack from Sporting Jacks. Call 904-863-KICK or visit sportingjacks.com. Coming up, youth soccer taking center stage in Jacksonville. Emerson takes us inside the Sporting Jacks Winter Invitational and how it's helping develop the next generation of players. That's next as the Sporting Jacks report rolls on. As the first USL Championship season approaches, do you have your Sporting Jacks gear? You can go online to sportingjacks.com or use the QR code on your screen to get your official Sporting Jacks kit, hat, scarf, t-shirt, sweatshirt, you name it. Hey, there's a scarf. There's a jersey.
It's all right there.
There's an Emerson Burris. Not for sale on the sportingjacks.com/shop. All right, time now for the Youth Soccer Spotlight, presented by the Bearded Pig Barbecue. Emerson back here. This week we're looking back on a big youth tournament hosted by the Sporting Jacks Academy.
Well, Sporting Jacks welcomed the next generation of the game to the First Coast a few weekends ago, hosting its annual Winter Invitational on January 24th and 25th. The two-day tournament brought together hundreds of competitive youth teams, turning a complex into a showcase of skill, growth, and championship moments. The Sporting Jacks Winter Invitational featured competitive U8 through U14 teams, with 317 teams total taking part, including 83 Sporting Jacks squads. Over 2 days of play, players from across the region competed not just for trophies, but for development and experience on a big stage. One of those championship moments came from the Sporting Jacks boys U8 team, coached by John Nazan. For Nazan, the title wasn't about the result, but about seeing his players execute what they've worked on all season: passing, movement, and a genuine excitement for learning the game.
The boys actually played well. Like they did what I wanted them to do. They were passing the ball, they were moving. Everything that we've been working on was put in display, which I was very pleased with. They actually are excited about practice. I know usually if I cancel practice, they all get upset. If the fields are closed or something, like, they all get upset because they want to be at practice. So that overall, what that's telling me is they are not only they enjoying the environment, but also they are eager to learn. And they like to be challenged. I have goals for each of them of what I see that they can do and what I think they need to improve on. And the goal is to by May, they all improve.
The Winter Invitational wrapped up a successful weekend of youth soccer for Sporting Jacks, highlighting both competition and player development across every age group. With more tournaments and training ahead this spring, the focus remains on growing and building a love for the game that starts at such a young age.
Well, and it's not just about the competition. That's certainly a big part of it, and we salute all the Sporting Jacks Academy teams that did well in this tournament, but it's also about continuing to lay that groundwork for the pathway to the pros, as well as giving a great opportunity for young local players to continue to develop their skills.
You said it best. We always talk about the pathway to pro. It's talked about in the office all the time. And one thing that is so special about our women's team is they're always available for these young kiddos. And I think that's so special. I would have loved that growing up. So hopefully with the men's team coming in too, it's going to be great for the little boys.
I think we're going to see that too. We've talked to a couple of the guys who are very excited about being able to coach and give back to the community for sure. So we look forward to that. Emerson, thanks so much. For more on Sporting Jacks in the world of soccer, join Emerson and me every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010XL. I'm joined by the likes of Mark Warburton, the head of soccer, women's coach Stacey Balaam, men's coach Liam Fox, and Sporting Jacks players every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010XL. It's the Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks. You can listen on air on 1010 AM, online, or on demand at 1010XL.com. And for behind-the-scenes conversations about Sporting Jacks, join Emerson, Tony Allegretti, and me on the Sporting Pod. You can subscribe wherever you find your favorite podcasts. A new episode drops each and every week. Still to come, a look at what Sporting Jacks is doing in the community. That's next, right here on the Sporting Jacks Report. You can catch the Sporting Jacks Report every weekend on the stations of First Coast News. Next week, we air at noon on Saturday on ABC 25. Remember, you can also find us on demand on First Coast News Plus and on the Sporting Jacks YouTube channel. We spent a lot of time on this show talking about the soccer aspect of Sporting Jacks, and certainly that's a big part of the club. But the action on the pitch is just one part of what Sporting Jacks is all about. With the team motto of Lift Every Voice, Sporting Jacks continues to be involved with the community, from youth soccer to area nonprofits and those in need. Last week, members of Sporting Jacks' women's team, including Julia Lester, Maddie Kemp, Grace Philpotts, and Maggie Illig, visited Ascension St. Vincent's Clay County to deliver soccer jerseys to hospital administration, associates, and patients, and to spread some cheer and spread the word about Sporting Jacks and the entire soccer club. And Sporting Jacks is pleased to support Riverside Rotary Club's Riverside Craft Beer Festival. The event is Sunday, February 22nd at the Riverside Arts Market. You can see some of the fun from last year's event here. General admission opens at 1. You can also get VIP tickets to get started an hour early. More than 100 of the finest local and national craft beers will be on display. Live music from the riverfront stage, and it all goes to a great cause. Proceeds support Community Peds Care and the Riverside Rotary Foundation. Here are the details. Sunday, February 22nd at the Riverside Arts Market location, 715 Riverside Avenue. For tickets, go to riversidecraftbeerfestival.com. We hope to see you there. And make sure to take advantage of the kickoff bundle for Sporting Jacks, the preseason game for the men's team against Charleston Battery, and the regular season opener in the USL Championship against Hartford Athletic. You can save when you bundle these two together, starting at just $32 per bundle. Go to sportingjacks.com or call 904-863-KICK to get your kickoff bundle today. All right, after tonight's game, Sporting Jacks has a quick turnaround for the first midweek home game of the season. On Wednesday, Spokane Zephyr comes to town, first meeting between the two clubs. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff at Hodges Stadium, and you can watch the game on Quest, that's 25.3 on your digital tuner, or Xfinity Channel 208. And remember to follow us for everything happening with Sporting Jacks on our social media platforms. We're on X, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok for all the latest with everything going on with Sporting Jacks on the men's side, on the women's side, for the foundation, for the club in general. A lot going on with your professional soccer teams. You can find it all right there on our social media channels. And let's check that World Cup clock. We are just 126 days until the eyes of the world turn to the biggest sporting event in the globe, right here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. For the U.S., it's a chance to showcase the game on a global scale, and I think it's going to make a very interesting and very soccer-specific summertime in the United States, and that will include Sporting Jacks. Thank you so much for watching the Sporting Jacks Report. We're back with you next week right here as we continue to preview and cover your pro soccer teams. For Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.